Hey, what's up, guys? It's Raven, the Commentator 2001 here with a charity highlight before we get to the pilot episode of the Revamped Teen Titans Go Saga, the podcast. As some of you may know, Special Olympics USA Games are coming up this summer and Team Colorado needs your help. You see, it costs almost $2,000 to send each athlete to the USA Games. The people representing Team Colorado in bowling, aquatics, track and field, tennis, and soccer need to get to Seattle for the games. If you can click the links in the description below and donate whatever you can, it will be much appreciated, and Special Olympics Team Colorado will thank you for it. If you would like to do more than just support Special Olympics Colorado or would just like to donate to another charity, you can help end breast cancer by clicking the link to the National Breast Cancer Foundation website and or help those affected by autism by checking out the Autism Society of America website. Both of these links are in the description below. Once again, donate whatever you can to these charities. Women who have breast cancer, people who have autism, and Team Colorado athletes in Special Olympics will thank you for your support. And now, our feature presentation.
What we do here is go back.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Raven, the Commentator 2001 here. Thank you so much for joining me, my friends, Raven and Robin, in our new and approved Teen Titans Go adventure called the Revamped Teen Titans Go Saga, the podcast. This is a pilot episode, but as always, it's entirely opinion-based. So if you disagree with some of our opinions, please let us know respectfully. If you would like to hear how the podcast works, you can catch the first episode on Valentine's Day for the details at the very start of the episode. The original one was abandoned due to extended procrastination last year, but this year we are getting better about that by new episodes once every 2 weeks after Valentine's Day. Anyways, enjoy the podcast. Hugs and kisses! The Raven the Commentator 2001 music channel is now up on YouTube. Stay tuned for some original music and song covers on the ukulele. Become a member of the Raven community through music today. And join us after the feature for a special ukulele cover of You Are My Sunshine by Johnny Cash, with new original lyrics and a mix of the variation from VeggieTales, the wonderful world of entertainment. Music provided by YouTube Creator Studio and accredited artists in the description below. This podcast was brought to you by Raven the Commentator 2001 Productions, proud supporter of common sense and brotherly and sisterly love on the internet. The channel motto is, with great wisdom comes great responsibility, and by over 100 Raven community members, including Audrey Does Her Thing. Thank you all for your continued support. Let's work together to make the internet a better place. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Raven, the Commentator 2001 here. Thank you guys for joining me and these guys right with me on the starting point of our Teen Titans Go adventure. The podcast, again, is called the Revamped Teen Titans Go Saga, the podcast. But before we get into the topic, we have, these two over here. Why don't you all introduce yourselves?
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Scares here.
Actually, that's, Robin. I'm Raven. You might know me from the second episode of the original Teen Titans Go Saga, the podcast. And, of course, you might remember his voice, in the sixth and final episode of the original Teen Titans Go Saga, the podcast.
Hey! Well, at least I'm just trying to, imitate someone who's popular on YouTube right now.
Well, what about Logan Paul? I mean, he did a lot of bad stuff, so why not just try to imitate him?
Look, there's a difference between who is a good person and who is not. Logan Paul, as of right now, is the one who's not.
Alright, enough of the Logan Paul talk. So, what are we discussing for this podcast today? Anything that we want to talk about?
Oh, I just remembered. We need to talk about Teen Titans Go to the movies.
That film hasn't been out yet.
Well, I was just talking. We want to talk about the announcements of it, who's gonna be in it, and the first trailer and whatnot. Yeah, I feel like this is kind of important.
Oh, yeah. I think I've already talked about like my thoughts on the announcement in a video that I made in September of last year. You can check out that video in the description below. But just to summarize it, excuse me, sorry, I'm becoming a bit like Rick Sanchez, a little bit. But to summarize what I said in that video, I said that I was curious about how it was going to turn out, and I was a little worried about how it was going to end up at the box office. So, what did you guys think of that movie being announced? A Teen Titans movie. Sorry, what did you guys think of a Teen Titans Go movie being announced?
Well, it does make sense in the business standpoint. I mean, Cartoon Network and Warner Brothers Animation need money after all, so yeah. And it's not just like from the toys, you know, they kind of succeeded in that area economically. And it's all like thanks to like the toy sales. This cartoon like was made to like sell toys. You know, as like many people who talk about Teen Titans Go have pointed out.
Well, yeah, that's exactly right, you know. And when it comes to like having a cartoon, I mean, you gotta have some toy sales, you know, just to keep it going. I mean, look at Powerpuff Girls 2016. They come up with a lot of toy lines, and the show's still going. I mean, even after like the girls twerking or whatever, it's still on the air no matter what. And it might get canceled eventually if they run out of toys to sell. So we'll see Titans Go along the line. But other than that, as part of a business standpoint, I think that the sale of toys is a smart move.
I agree on that.
Now, Robin, what are your thoughts on a Teen Titans Go movie being announced?
Well, it is like kind of it's kind of concerning for me. You know, people are just gonna like, you know, buy the Teen Titans Go toys and not just, you know, buy tickets to sell a Teen Titans Go no, not sell, excuse me. They're not just gonna buy tickets to go see a movie involving like one of the most hated animated franchises of all time, which is basically a spin-off of a much beloved 2000s TV series that stopped, basically, and a lot of people were just complaining that it doesn't really continue the story. To a lot of people, a movie, especially for a show of this caliber, is not warranted. The only movie that Teen Titans had was Trouble in Tokyo, and that didn't get a theatrical release, and it also didn't get like any sort of special attention other than like, you know, basically the executives are just saying like, you know, hey, let's just put this on television and just sell some DVDs of that, and maybe like the fans will be satisfied. Apparently a lot of fans aren't satisfied with that because they aren't very satisfied with the ending. There was, however, like a little comic book series that wrapped it up, called Teen Titans Go, almost like the same name as the comedy spinoff. So yeah, those are my 2 cents.
Does anyone else have do you guys have anything else that you might want to add?
Well, I also wanted to talk about the trailer, just a tiny bit. I'm not sure, like, if future trailers might contribute to the film's fate as is, you know, like box office wise, and just in terms of like the critics' remarks, you know, like you could see, I mean, like take a look at the Simpsons movie. The Simpsons has become like the longest running primetime animated series, and it's all thanks to this movie. It had over a whopping $500 million at the box office, and it shows like in the box office numbers, and even in the positive reviews from critics, especially like the percentage on Rotten Tomatoes, which shouldn't really matter to most people because, well, let's face it, they're just like putting the percentage doesn't really matter anyways. Of course, like, some of us know, like, what happened with some bots and Rotten Tomatoes recently, but we're not going to cover that because it's politically charged. So, yeah, I'm just a little worried about the film's fate, and I do agree with you on that one, and I do think that the film's fate is almost completely sealed with the future trailers and other future promotions of the film.
Alright, so shall we talk about the guest stars of that film?
Oh yeah, Kristen Bell and Will Arnett. Now, Kristen Bell, everybody knows about Kristen Bell. She has been in a bunch of some Bad Moms movies, and she was also Princess Anna in the Disney hit film Frozen. And there was a time, like, she's part of this as, like, a voice actress, and as revealed by USA Today, she is going to be playing Jade Wilson, one of Slade Wilson's daughters, and she's, like, the other daughter of Slade, like, alongside Rose Wilson, who was introduced in the show, and Will Arnett is gonna play, surprisingly, Slade Wilson, the protagonist, not the protagonist, excuse me, antagonist of the film. So, does anyone have any thoughts on that? Anybody?
Can I go first, if that's alright?
Yep.
Okay. So, I'm gonna go all day and say that, wow, no, oh, Kristen Bell and Will Arnett are so wonderful, blah, 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 whatever this, like, these shenanigans are. But in addition, after what I've heard from various people, that Kristen Bell was so good as Princess Anna, and Will Arnett having his best role in animation as Lego Batman. First of all, like, I just don't really see the point in just pointing out, like, whose role is the best. I mean, I don't think it should matter, like, really, since he's been in a bunch of stuff, you know, like, 30 Rock, and basically, and other stuff, like Arrested Development. Yeah, and yes, he was also, Lego Batman in the, Lego movie and the Lego Batman movie, but I'm just not so sure if him as Slade would work. Sure, like, he's known for his, like, little deep and raspy man-like voice, but I just don't know if, like, he's gonna play well as Slade.
Well, he's also gonna be the, producer of the film as well.
Wait, he has a producing credit? Oh, no wonder why he wanted to be a part of this movie. Basically, they're telling him, you know, hey, not only can you be the voice of Slade, but you could also be the producer of this movie.
I wonder how that's gonna play out, with Will Arnett's involvement.
Well, here's what I think. You know, like, Kristen Bell, I love her, you know, everything she's ever done. I loved her work in Frozen. You know, I loved what she did for, the folks during Hurricane Irma.
Oh, yeah, the one where she sang, like, for the families, in the shelter.
Oh, you know what?
I love that. Did she have something to do with, like, the Commodore 64 stuff?
No, she had nothing to do with that. Okay, she wasn't in the Commodores. And the Beatles song about the number 64, that had nothing to do with that either.
Oh, yeah, that's basically that. So, what do you think about Will Arnett's involvement as a producer?
That's the one that I've been wanting to talk about for a long time. Generally, in movies, the producer doesn't get involved with the set all that much, because most of them don't get involved in the actual role in the filmmaking process. They just sit back and act like big shots, you know, like, Say Tom Hanks.
Or Tom Cruise. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's it.
And there are also like some top producers in the industry, like in terms of animation. Not exactly like producers, or more just like directors. Like let's say Jennifer Lee, for example, because she was the first woman to ever direct a Disney movie all on her own, without any sort of assistance.
Well, she directed Frozen, right?
Well, yeah. And also, another woman who was involved in filmmaking in terms of the direction position is Patty Jenkins, when she did the Wonder Woman movie. We'll get into, like, the Wonder Woman stuff later on. And she, in terms of, like, the direction for Wonder Woman, I think she did a pretty good job.
Oh yeah, she absolutely did. And like there are other directors like Joss Whedon, who is the director of like Avengers Age of Ultron. That movie like was kind of divided. There are some that say like it's the weakest Avengers movie. Well, there are some that say like, no, this other side is wrong. The movie is really good. I think the Blu-rays are worth a buy. Look, as a DC character, I'm not saying that all the Avengers movies are bad. They're really good. In fact, I think they're even better than some of the DC movies as of late. You know, like Justice League.
Oh, that movie. This basically just Wonder Woman just basically hogging the camera for almost all of the movie because of, you know, the popularity of Wonder Woman. I hate to break it to you, but I don't think we're gonna go that far into Wonder Woman until much, much later. Oh, right. Sorry. Pardon pardon that little spoiler for you guys. Sorry about that. Well, anyways, I really hope that,
Whoa, sorry about that. Anyways, I really hope that he tries to fulfill, that role as a producer.
Yeah, I do think so too.
yeah, agreed with that notion. Now that right there is just, like, it's pretty interesting. It's interesting to see someone who is a voice actor in someone who is also a producer of a movie.
Okay, so we are going to talk about the movie's plot. You guys ready for this?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So this is from my little article that I wrote from on the LHS Peak Press website. Here goes. The upcoming animated feature goes where not most have gone before. The film will be about Robin and the gang heading to Tinseltown to get their big break as movie stars with the help of du jour director Jade Wilson, according to USA Today. However, Slade has other plans for the Titans and for him to take over the world. So basically, I just kind of shortened like this whole movie plot into just a few sentences in that article. Now let's go to the plot that has been applied to. It seems to the teens that all the major superheroes out there are starring in their own movies. Everyone but the Teen Titans, that is. The de facto leader, Robin, is determined to remedy the situation and be seen as a star instead of a sidekick. If only they could get the hottest Hollywood film director to notice him. With a few madcap ideas and a song in their heart, the Teen Titans head to Tinseltown, certain to pull off their dream. But when the group is radically misdirected by a seriously supervillain and his maniacal plan to take over the Earth, things really go awry. And the team finds their friendship and their fighting spirit failing, putting the very fate of the Teen Titans themselves on the line.
Ooh, drama! Like, I'm sure nothing bad is ever gonna happen to the Titans in the movie, right?
Well, we'll just have to wait and see if you're right or you're wrong.
Okay, so this is a little thing that I like to say about about this little thing right here, according to this little article that I wrote for school, just an online article. Let's see. The film will also have bigger musical numbers than ever before and meta commentary on Hollywood's obsession with superheroes. So basically, the whole movie can include some commentary on the basics on all the superhero movies of yore, like the ones from DC and the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Basically, how superheroes have taken over Hollywood, and there are like a lot of superhero movies, as much as we know it. What do you think about that, Robin?
Well, I do think that it's almost kind of brave of them to make a plot that highlights Hollywood dreams, while at the same time trying to make a little commentary on Hollywood's oversaturation with superhero flicks. Like the ones with Iron Man, Hulk, Captain America, Thor, Black Widow, basically almost all the Avengers in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, including like Guardians of the Galaxy. But there are also like the other movies from DC, like from Batman, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, as they aforementioned. No, not Aquaman. Aquaman's gonna have us like no. Let's see, like Batman. Let's see, no. What? I'm trying to list like some other heroes off the top of my head, like besides Batman and Wonder Woman, because these are the only heroes that I have on my mind right now. Basically just almost like all the DC superheroes like have their own movies, like including like some of the major animated shows like Batman and Beyond, Batman the Animated Series, the 2003 Teen Titans series, as mentioned before, and basically all the other animated series based on DC comic books. And while I do appreciate the movie, I do appreciate the story writers for doing this, I do think that it needs to be the meta commentary just needs to go into more than just DC. It could go into like Marvel if Disney doesn't sue them, and all the other major superheroes from DC that I don't think have gotten a film yet. I like the idea from that plot. However, I think it needs to be done well in order for that to achieve in that level with audiences. With the meta commentary and the plans of the Titans to chase their dreams and whatnot.
How about you, Raven? What are your thoughts on the plot and how it highlights Hollywood dreams? That plot, it can be almost absurd, but execution wise, it could turn out good. With the meta commentary on the superhero movies from like DC, because DC is what is like their focus, and it's like they're just basically telling us like, hey, we're not only making fun of the DC superhero movies, but we're also gonna try to be as self-aware as possible, because we all know like how self-aware the show has gotten over the past few years, and like Robin said, the plot idea is very appreciated, but and I think I have to kind of disagree with him in that part where it's like the execution like has to turn out
good in order to have it reconnect with audiences and try to go on all sides for DC, Marvel. And I do disagree with him on Marvel because DC is their only focus. Like I said before, Marvel is bought by Disney, so Disney might sue them and they might lose like all the money that they need for the show and the movie. And like, I do think that it's a very smart move. Like I said before, I do think it's a very smart move for this movie to have that plot, because it's not the plot that all movies have, and it's not the subject that not all films have talked about.
Well, here's another thing from the article that I wrote for the LHS Pre-Press website. All right, so here it goes. Of course, in real life, the plot seems to have a bigger connection with many children and teens dreaming of working in Hollywood and the entertainment industry when they get older. Many famous people have gotten past the obstacles of becoming big stars, like Dan Reynolds, frontman of the American rock band Imagine Dragons, as told in the song Thunder from the album Evolve. So, Thunder is basically like talking about like, you gotta chase your dreams, and basically, and I think the Teen Titans Go to the Movies might have a message just like that if it were to execute its plot well and basically just let everyone know, hey, the Titans are chasing their dreams, so you can do it too. And I do think that, and I have to agree with all of you. I think that it was a smart move for basically this movie to have this type of plot, because it's not the subject that all movies talk about and do well. Not to say that every film has talked about it. I mean, some of them have, and I think some of you might know. Most of us might know what happened with the Cheetah Girls. They tried to make a commentary on something about like big studios are bad and you're exploiting yourself for your fans, and that's bad. Don't do that. Blah. To quote the nostalgia critic in his review of the movie, it almost, not exactly, it failed at that. It criticizes something while it does exactly that. And I think that's what Teen Titans Go to the movies might do, especially with the little meta commentary that they're planning on doing with the superhero movies and whatnot. So yeah, if the plot is executed well, then we might believe that it's trying to have a strong message there. So moving on to the middle segment, from this little, sorry, I'm just trying to think here. Now we're gonna transition to this segment in the middle that I like to call Random Thoughts on My Head. Basically, we just talk about what pops up in my head. So, the topic that popped out of my head for this episode in particular is steamed hams. But Raven, Robin, and I brainstormed what it would look like if it was in Teen Titans. So, we all know the steamed hams meme, right? Oh yeah, the one where it's like they're showing like this little segment from the short film Skinner and the Superintendent.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that meme's been almost around like ever since like this year. So, so if you don't know what this meme is, it basically just goes down like this. Skinner invites Superintendent Chalmers over for lunch, and so Chalmers comes into the house, and he comes to sit down on a table,
And Seymour Skinner, as soon as he gets down to the kitchen, he sees that his roast is burning in the oven, and in order to save the luncheon, he thought of himself the task to buy fast food from Krusty Burger and disguise it as his own cooking. And so he does that, and Superintendent Chalmers almost catches him red-handed. And he asks Seymour why there's smoke coming out of the oven. He's like, no, that's not ham. That's not smoke. That's steam coming from the steamed clams that I'm making. Yummy, yummy, yummy. And so he goes out of the window and goes to Krusty Burger and buys the burgers and fries, and he says, well, I hope you're ready for mouth-watering hamburgers. And he disguises it as like his own family recipe, and he calls them steamed hams. And all throughout the course, he just keeps lying and lying to Superintendent Chalmers, and he mistakes that little fire coming from the kitchen as Aurora Borealis. Alright, Aurora Borealis is basically just part of the Northern Lights. We'll just find some of the details about the Aurora Borealis as we go on. But anyways, so his house burns down, his mom is basically suffering, and he just plays it as A-OK. So it says, an aurora, sometimes referred as a polar light, is a natural light display in the sky, predominantly seen in high latitude regions. And yeah, so Aurora Borealis is basically just the northern lights. The more you know, scientifically.
Science facts! Ah!
You are quite an odd fellow, Robin, but you make a good joke.
So, what are some of your ideas, if it were a segment in Teen Titans? Because I think I should go first, because here's what I might be thinking. Because the meme, it's been going around and around and around, even on YouTube. So, somebody could possibly make that into basically a Starfire and Raven-centric segment in Teen Titans, as Starfire prepares some sort of a meal for Raven, as she comes into the tower, and then she sees that, she might be making, Glorg or it's like she accidentally puts the Glorg in the oven, and it almost catches on fire, and then as soon as it comes out of the sun, it really catches on fire, and she has to throw it in the trash, and she's like, well, what if I were to just get pizza, and then I disguise it as my own cooking? And then so she serves just pizza, just to save the luncheon, and the garbage... So all the garbage is burned on fire, and the tower is basically burned on fire. And so Robin calls for the Titans to evacuate the tower, and the tower burns down, and the tower automatically replaces itself.
Okay, that is a good idea. However, I do think that there is another idea that I have that might be a good one. What if it was just like two villains having dinner together, like Control Freak and Slade. Slade is Superintendent Chalmers, and Control Freak is basically Skinner, except he couldn't cook, and except he's really bad at cooking, and he just buys fast food to give to Slade, and it's they after that little incident, they just kind of battle it out, and just to see who's the better person and whatnot, and Control Freak eventually loses, and Slade wins.
That idea, it does sound pretty good, but it could use a little bit of how do you say, like, a little more creativity.
I think I have an idea for what it might look like. What if it was just Batman and Robin? Except none of the stuff that happens in the meme ever happens, and Robin just makes boiled lobster for Batman and Robin, and so he's following the family recipe for like boiled lobsters, basically, and then he just serves it to him. The house never burns down, and they have a good lunch. They have a good luncheon. And Batman says, "Robin, you are an odd fellow, but you do make some good lobsters." So yeah, that's basically my idea for that.
I think, like, some of those ideas, I think they might work. If you, like, to those of you who are listening, if you have any sort of suggestions for what the Teen Hams might look like as a Teen Titans segment, just other ideas, please let us know. And or if you thought that maybe one of our ideas was better, then please just let me know, or let us know rather. If you don't like the meme personally, that's fine. If you think the meme is just okay, that's fine. If you think that the meme is one of the best memes of all time, that's fine too. Alright, now, moving on to the trailer. So here's a little description that I have written for this. It's just one paragraph. The first trailer for Teen Titans Go to the Movies does something that some films, live action and animated, have done in the past. Deadpool, anyone? The trailer takes a stab at DC superhero films like the 2016 smash hit Wonder Woman, with 4 of the Titans dressing up in Wonder Woman costumes, and this year's DC superhero flick Aquaman, with its closing line of, if Aquaman can have a movie, anyone can. Oh yeah, so what it was just said here is that basically all 4 of the Titans dress up in Wonder Woman costumes. So what do you guys think about that?
Why? Why are they dressing up in costumes? Well, it's primarily because they're basically just putting out like some awareness. They're like, hey, we know that Wonder Woman is the hottest DC film, so we're gonna have the Titans dress up as Wonder Woman too.
Yeah, it's basically just that. And if you've seen like the Justice League movie, according to Anima, you of course you might have known that Wonder Woman almost takes over like the entire movie. It's like it's always about Wonder Woman. Since she's popular, it's never about anyone else.
Yeah, that's basically it. And I do think that the first half of it is like, hey, we're having our own movie! And to be fair, it's actually kind of clever. It also says here that it says, like, the trailer also, like, made fun of Teen Titans Go itself. It's based on the fact that the Titans know that Wonder Woman inspires people and that the Titans do not. Even though they used to inspire people in 2003, all the way to the end in 2006 with Teen Titans. Well, if you count the movie, like, as the end, like, Trouble in Tokyo is the end, and, I don't know. But anyways, I do think that they have a bit of a clever approach to that, and it's actually kind of funny that they're actually dressing up as Wonder Woman because, you know, of how popular Wonder Woman is.
Yeah, Wonder Woman is according to a lot of people, she is the goddess of the DC extended universe as of late.
Alright, you guys do have a point there, but here it is. In the second half of the trailer, crass humor ensues when Beast Boy turns into a porcupine and throws his quills at the giant balloon-like villain and deflates for 20 seconds. After that, Raven and Beast Boy have a chuckle about it.
So it's basically just a fart joke. One word.
Yes.
One word. Deflategate.
Alright. That sounds pretty reasonable. So, do you think that, you would have seen, like, what was happening, like, for, that joke?
Oh yeah, I really would love to see that. Okay, so it's like Deflategate, but with farts.
You mean the villain is a walking, talking football and Tom Brady's deflating it for no reason?
No. Let's have Beast Boy as a porcupine, have him throw his clothes at him, as we learned from Jonah VeggieTales movie, and then point them at his butt cheek, and then just have him deflate for 20 seconds or so, just to entertain the kids.
I think that's not a bad idea. Well, I think you might get the idea of what it was.
I do think that the payoff of the joke actually did work. I do think that that joke actually kind of needed a bit of work because it was like too long. Maybe if it was shorter, then maybe it would be funny. But other than that, I kind of like how it was played out. That and the closing line: if Aquaman can have a movie, then anyone can. That's part of the superhero movie commentary that the movie might have.
Well, yeah. What more can I say? This is so true. If Marvel and DC can have their own movies, then anything can. Emojis can have a film. Hello Kitty can have an animated feature. And yes, even G.I. Joe and Transformers could have their own movie.
Yeah, that's basically like the sentiment of Hollywood nowadays, just searching for movie ideas, and it does show, especially like in the Teen Titans Go to the Movies trailer with the closing line: if Aquaman can have a movie, then anyone can.
Yeah, that's a bit of that you do present a point there. And I do agree with that notion that that it does take a bit of a clever approach at poking fun of the DC extended universe and all the superhero movies of yore, including the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Or the Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy, if you know what we mean.
Yeah, so what did you guys think of the trailer overall? What would be your thumb rating?
Overall, I give that trailer like a bit of a thumbs up. I thought that almost every aspect in the trailer was pretty good, and I will give the people working on the movie the benefit of the doubt and say that I guess they're just trying their best, and that's all that matters.
What do you think, Robin?
Well, let me just say this overall. I mean, this trailer is a pretty good example of showcasing humor in kids' movies, especially like the juvenile humor and the self-aware humor. They could show this movie classes and say, this is how you do meta commentary in a movie, and try to make it as successful as possible, and then have them put in a little message that says, try as hard as you can, and just try to do it, and that's all that matters.
What's your thumb rating?
It's a thumbs up for me. I like the first half, I like the ending. Basically, I just kind of liked everything that the trailer almost had to offer.
Oh yeah, and I do agree with that. I do give the trailer a big thumbs up. And it is in fact a pretty good trailer. In my eyes, I think it's almost it's not as good as the Avengers Infinity War trailer, but at least it does showcase what the film is trying to do and what it's going for. So anyways, that concludes this pilot episode of the revamped Teen Titans Go Saga the podcast. Please feel free to subscribe, like, and comment, and we will see you guys next time. Until then, this is Raven the Commentator 2001.
Rated.
And Robin.
Saying, with great wisdom comes great responsibility. Take care and have a nice day. This podcast was created by McKenna White, also known as Raven the Commentator 2001. The sources of information discussed in the podcast, the trailer discussed, and photo are in the description below. Special thanks to Audrey Does Her Thing for bringing in new Raven community members, and Dragon Whelp for spreading warm fuzzy feels and Pikacheeks all around YouTube, and keeping the Ohana together. Ohana means family, and family means that no one gets ever left behind or forgotten. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Raven the Ukester. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. You have been my sunshine today. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take that sunshine away. A little sunshine, love is the sunshine. It makes us happy most every day. We will remember how much we are loved, and we can give that sunshine away. When I was young, I thought I was lonely until my mom